What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode. What episode is this? It's like
I
7?
think we on 6, 7.
I think 7.
7. Oh shit, we getting up there.
Wrong.
Yeah, we're getting there. You know who I am. I am King Dre for the win from the official WeGameHere.com, co-hosting with Fame ENT2K.
Yeah, but
You already know this is on air with Cowboys Nation, and you know, it's all things Cowboys. Everything Cowboys and mixed in with a little extra NFL stuff. You know, I'm a big Battlefield field player, so definitely check out my videos for that. And Fame, go ahead and introduce yourself.
yeah, man. Hopefully you guys are getting used to us now. You know, like this thing is still a work in progress. But I do want to apologize to you guys and also my co-host. You know, we did miss an episode last week. I'm in the middle of moving things around, things like that, so my schedule has been off. But I promise you guys, we're going to get this consistency down pat, man.
Yes, sir. And definitely, if y'all want to join the show, you know what I mean, just reach out to us. We're all reachable. There's no runarounds. You just say you want to be on the show. We'll let you know when we're recording, and we'll let you be in it. So
Yes,
I think you got all the topics, Fame.
I want to start with the Joseph Randle comments. He went on. He was talking about how DeMarco Murray left a lot of meat on the bones. You know, because I mean, and I said a lot too. DeMarco Murray, like, he would break a bunch of tackles, then he would fall down. He would get tired. You know, so Randle came out and said, you know, oh man, he left a lot of meat on the bones. Mm-hmm. So Murray turned around and said, well, I hope you can at least taste the meat. So I'm like, whoa, shots fired. I thought that was a pretty good exchange. You know, he left like me on the bones. He told them, I hope you can at least taste the meat. And he's going to taste the meat, man. Look at this offensive line. He's going to taste the meat, but he put a lot of pressure on themselves. One, you're going to have to make yourself the clear-cut starter. You're going to have to outrun Darren McFadden if you're going to make a statement like that. And two, when you better find, because one thing Murray, he wasn't good at, he wasn't breakaway, you know, speed guy. He wasn't run away from nobody, but he could find a hole. So, like Murray said, you know, I hope you can at least taste the meat. You know, Randall means I hope you can at least find the hole. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree with Randall. It's so many times I've seen Murray have blockers ahead of him, and instead of taking it up the field, he'll cut back in, like taking it down the sideline. I remember there was one play, Des Bryant like sealed off the edge, and instead of running up the sideline, he cut back in, and you know, I was like, damn, we could have had a touchdown, but he does do that a lot. Randall, on the other hand, you've seen flashes of him. You've seen that he can take off. There was one play, was it against Detroit or it was against some team, I forgot. They gave him the ball and he just was ghost. He was gone. So I think if Randall just needs to be consistent. I don't think he's an every down back. I think he is more of a exchange, like, you know, they get 2 and then he comes in or something. I never really looked at his blocking. Huh?
Think about what, 15, 20 carries a game, maybe 15.
15 about right. And I think he could do a lot with those 15 carries per game. It's just that Murray was that workhorse. He was not coming off that field, and you know, he turned out 1,800 yards on that. So you know, but I do believe that he did leave a couple yards on the field.
A couple.
He could have been a 2,000-yard rusher if he didn't, you know, leave those yards on the field. But I guess he had to preserve his health because this was his pay year, his contract year, so he didn't want to, you know, risk injury running down field and, you know, take some weird fall and bust up his ankles again.
But yeah, like you said, Randall, he does show flashes, man. But there's one thing about Randall: when he hits that hole, if he finds a hole and he hits it with the space, he's gone. He's not like Murray. You know, Randall, he's not the fastest back, but he has home run speed. So I'm really excited to see, you know, if he can, you know, somehow duplicate Murray's vision from last year. Murray, as much as we, you know, we hate him for the fumbles and
Right.
falling down, all other shit, his vision is what is impeccable. You know, he can see the smallest crease and boom, he's a up, you know, a north and south run. He can hit the hole and he's gone. So I'm hoping, you know, Randall can at least, you know, somewhat duplicate the vision of DeMarco Murray.
True.
All right, I want to get your thoughts about Greg Hardy. Now we know, everyone knows he's as of right now he's suspended for 10 games.
Yep.
And he didn't go to OTAs Thursday because he is appealing that 10 game suspension. Now I honestly believe that 10 game is going to go down to 2 games. The reason I'm gonna tell you why. Remember when Ray Rice was first accused of domestic violence? How many games did he get? He got 2.
Right.
He got 2 games because that was the policy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Greg Hardy got in trouble. He got put on the exemplars, all that stuff during the time where the policy stated 2. So he got in trouble while it said 2 games. So if you're gonna punish him, you have to punish him. You know, if you're gonna execute the punishment, you have to continue the punishment from where it started. You can't all of a sudden say, you know, well, the rules now say 10 is, you know, 6 games and then a lifetime ban. No, you have to finish how you started. And when you started this thing with Greg Hardy, it was 2 games. Right. So I think this reduction is getting taken down to 2 games, man.
So it's like a clear-cut policy, domestic violence, 2 games, or it was. Say it again.
It wasn't. I can't really call it a domestic violence policy, but it was like a detrimental type deal. But it's the same reason why Ray Rice only got 2. It's the same reason. And Hardy got nicked around the exact same time before the new rules got instated, where the first time you get is a 6 or 10, and then the second time is a lifetime ban. But Hardy first got in trouble for this new rules wasn't in place. So you have to get him on the rules that were in place when you first, you know, got him for, which that means when he appealed, he'll go on and be like, hey, bro, y'all can't just up and just hit me with this, you know, with this, and this wasn't the punishment. This wasn't the rule for when y'all got me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna be in 2 games. Can you imagine going from only having from 6 games to 14 games? We're gonna eat quarterbacks alive, man.
But I don't want to burst your bubble, but I don't think he's gonna get 2 games. I think the NFL is in a bad light with all these domestic violence cases going on right now, and I think they're gonna reduce it, but I think they're gonna reduce it to like either 4 to 6 games. I think it's gonna be like 4 to 6 games. They still gonna, you know, I want to say like they wanna repeal it, and then, you know, still try to make it look like, you know, well, we didn't let him off too light. You know, he did miss 15 games last season, and then, you know, we gave him 10. So now instead of dropping 8 games off, I think they're gonna meet halfway between 4 games or 6 games. I think that's what they're gonna do.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and if we do, even if we get Mr. first 4 games with Greg Hardy without him, I think he's gonna come in hungry. That defensive line is just looking so promising right now. It's just like I can't wait to watch them on the field just running around. Like, you know, Sean Lee's coming back. You got Greg Hardy. You got Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Crawford in the 3 technique. Yeah, man, it's beast.
I was just like, yo, we finally gonna have a defense and an offense, and instead of relying on our offense to win games, we're gonna rely on our defense to close games, and that's where I think Greg Hardy is going to be more effective. He's just a ball hog. He just goes after that ball wherever it is, man. So hopefully, wasn't it? I think I saw a report that they was in there for like a couple hours. The appeal took a
Yeah.
couple hours. I think it was like 7 hours or something I saw. But geez, they was really making a case. So I really think it's going to get repealed, but I think more likely than none between 4 to 6 games.
That makes sense. Like I said, if I was Greg Hardy, I would fight for 2.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to just get it over with, the most I would accept is 4. No way I would accept 6.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 is my goal. But 4, like you said, I'll be cool with 4. Missing for the first 4 games, we still got, Gregory. He's a rookie. He's still, he should have been a top 10 pick. DeMarcus Lawrence he showed flashes of, a top tier pass rusher in the playoffs. Tyrone Crawford is one of the best young 3 technique defensive tackles in the league. I think they're going to be all right without him, but when he comes, man, dude, when he comes.
So wait, hold on. Before we move on, if we do get to the Super Bowl, and let's say quote unquote, just hypothetically, we win, do you think that Jerry Jones sold his soul for a championship because he took on Greg Hardy, he took on Randy Gregory, even though Lyle Collins wasn't involved, but he still was a name in some type of, case. Do you think that Jerry Jones sold his soul for a championship?
You goddamn right he did. You goddamn right he did. Jerry wants a championship again. He wants to prove to the world that it was him and not Jimmy Johnson. You damn right he did. He know he's not gonna be alive too much longer. You goddamn right he did, man. And I don't blame him. Man. I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Yeah, man.
But transitioning, like we like to do, Dez showed up to OTAs. He hasn't just yet signed his tender, his franchise tag tender, but he did show up to OTAs. And I want to know what you think about this, because I think it's great from a leadership standpoint that Dez came out and he's shown that he's putting the team above himself. I'm pretty sure he's gonna sign that franchise tag. But at the same time, I think it's dumb because look at all the people that are out for the season already in OT. We've seen 3 or 4 ACL injuries.
Right.
And to me, if I was him, me personally, I wouldn't. Not even at the contract. I haven't even signed my franchise tag yet. If I happen, I'll come out here and I'll blow my knee out. You know what I'm saying? I think from a team standpoint, it's great. And I also think from a personal standpoint for him, I think it's great for him. It shows that he's a leader of this team. It shows other guys, hey, this is how we prepare. This is how a championship team, this is what we're going to do move forward. I need everybody to work hard for a championship. But financially and risk-wise, I just don't think it was fair for him to show up without at least signing that franchise tag yet. You shouldn't be out there without at least, signing that franchise tag, because it doesn't take, contact to tear ACL.
Right. But I agree that he shouldn't be out there, but I think it says volumes that the negotiations between the two aren't bad. I think it's headed to a positive direction, and I think by Dez showing up, just like Orlando was showing up in and out while his contract was going on, and then eventually he got the extension, 1 year, $9.5 million, and it kind of showed like the team and the players are working together, and I really believe if it was like really like nowhere, nothing happening, and Dez wanted to use some type of leverage, he wouldn't be there at all. So I just believe that it's going in the right direction. I think he will sign it, but instead of I don't really know the parameters. Like if you sign it now, what's the difference of signing it now and then signing the extension later, or just wait and just sign the extension when they get it?
Well, it seems like he's still holding off hope that he can get his contract, beforehand.
Before a certain date, though, right?
What was that?
Before a certain date, like I think June something.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only deadline that there was a deadline to put the franchise tag on him. At this point, the Cowboys don't have to do anything. The Cowboys, if you really look at it, the Cowboys don't have to worry about sign a Dez Bryant long-term contract until another 2 years. You could put up on a player 3 years in a row.
Right.
Technically, he's under contract for the next 3 years. Granted, that's a big ass contract, because it's gonna go up 20% next year, and then 20% after that, So technically, the Cowboys can just franchise him and just sit back. I think that's dumb because you don't want to mess up his psyche. Y'all don't. It's almost like I'm coming in to OTA, showing y'all a show of faith, and y'all don't want to commit to me. Why am I committing to y'all? I think it's dumb on the Cowboys' part, but at this point, they can just sit back and not do anything.
Yeah, but they won't do it. They already know you got to get Dez under contract, and you don't want to. Dez is maturing, but at the same time, he's a player. He wants his money, and he knows he could go anywhere and get top dollar.
Oh yeah.
But he is putting the faith in the team to work with him. Whatever the money negotiations is, whatever the long time contract, I think it's probably something as little as, Dez probably want 5 years, whatever, 80 million or whatever, and Cowboys probably want, either a longer year with smaller money or a shorter year with more money.
Dez wants Megatron money. He wants the 6 years, 120 something million. That's what Dez wants.
Nice.
Dez wants to be paid as the best receiver in the NFL. And I don't see why he shouldn't be paid when, in my eyes, and it's not even being a homer, he's the best receiver in the NFL. So pay him like it.
Nah.
You're paying Romo like he's the best quarterback in the NFL, and he's not. Don't get me wrong, Cowboy fans, I love Tony Romo, but he's not the best quarterback in the NFL. In my opinion, Dez is the best receiver. I know people are going to say, well, Megatron is. No, Dez Bryant is the best receiver in the NFL.
Well, as of last year.
Yeah, I mean,
Megatron had a bad year, but the year before that.
We have to have a short term memory when it comes to the NFL. What have you done for me lately? That's what this league is.
And why isn't DeMarco here then? He gave us 1,800 yards.
Because running backs aren't as valued in the entire NFL. The entire NFL doesn't value running backs like they used to. I mean, if it wasn't, Todd Gurley got selected, 10. It was him and Gordon got selected high. But the rest of the running backs, they were just falling because, most people rather, and this is the same thing, I know the running back in Chicago got a big contract. There aren't very many running backs going to get big money anymore. What teams are going to do, what teams have been doing, if you notice a trend, they are running back. You got 4 years of running back cheap. When it's time for him to get paid big, you go get you another one. Because at 27, 28, running backs wear down. Chris Johnson, all them yards. What he do? He went to the Jets or whatever. You ain't seen him since. Running backs wear down 27, 28. If you call him a league at 21, 22, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna.
Peterson is an exception to that rule.
Adrian Peterson is a freak of fucking nature. It's an exception to the rule. And I think anybody will tell you that he's an exception to the rule. But I promise you, DeMarco Murray he won't have the season he had last year, and not just because our offensive line is better than theirs. He won't be able to do it because he will show. I mean, he ran the ball almost 400 times, over 400 times last year, man. Yeah. Running backs that grind, constantly getting banged up like that, their legs were out. You draft the running back, you got it for 4 years. And it's time for him to get a big contract. You move on and draft another one. Running backs aren't valued anymore. They aren't, and it's sad. Because we got some of the greatest NFL players of all time are running backs. Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, and those positions aren't valued like they were back then.
Yeah, but I don't think Dez should get $120 million contract. I don't. 100. But first, where are they getting all this money to pay? Somebody's gonna get cut.
It's something It's something people need to realize too. Contracts in NFL, a lot of it is bullshit.
Mm.
It's really
it's more upfront.
It's really only the first 3 years. The rest is just to make the players feel better about themselves. It's just a number. You know what I'm saying? Like most of these contracts, and most NFL players don't see the end of their contract. No. They don't. It gets restructured or they get cut.
Right.
They never see all of that money. So it's just to make him, I'm the highest paid receiver in the league. That's all it is. That's all it is.
But I don't want to have to come down to that 3 years. We either asking him to take a pay cut or wind up cutting him. So I think the Cowboys is probably trying to keep a number where if he goes 5 years, that we can keep him 5 years. We don't have to worry about the 5th year or the 4th year we're gonna have to make some changes or cut him or ask him to take a pay cut. So that could be an issue as well. And I think Dez know that too. Like, I might be, I'll full up the front load of the money, give me my guarantees and pay me heavily or more, and then as get to the 4th year, I'm looking for $30 million or $20 million for that year, and then the Cowboys like, nah, we can't pay you for that year. You have to take a pay cut, and the last thing I think the Cowboys want is to cut him. So that's how I feel, man. But hopefully they can get this shit worked out, man. This guy on the field, season about to start, even though it's May. Season's about to start.
It's always NFL season.
Always.
Well, let's. You want to take a whip around the NFL before we get out of here? I'm gonna read off a couple of things to you, and just let me know what you think.
Cool.
A few things really fast. Brady, his appeal is set for June 23rd. I hope his ass stays suspended for his first 4 games. Ray Rice is the NFL execs. They're split. Whether or not anybody ever sign him again. So he's trying to come back, and people are weary about it. Adrian Peterson went on Twitter 2 days ago, and he was just bitching. Yeah, he had a crazy rant. And his coach came out and said, he can play for us or he cannot play. And so Adrian Peterson's like, he's on the standpoint was like, fuck it, trade me or I retire. Last thing I think noteworthy here is another Saturday in the NFL. Ray McDonald, you guys probably heard, for the second time, in trouble for domestic violence. The first time was when he was Chicago now. First time he was with San Francisco, and he never got in trouble for it. He played, and now he's in trouble for it again. So
they cut him? Didn't they cut him?
Chicago, yeah, they cut him.
Yeah. So I don't think he's gonna be back in the NFL.
Yeah, that's it, man. Even if he gets found not guilty, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Thoughts on Brady's upcoming June 23rd appeal, and whether or not Ray Rice should come back, and the Adrian Peterson rant.
All right, Brady, I think it's gonna get reduced.
Don't say that shit.
I don't want to believe it, man, but it's just too good to be true that all the stars are aligned for him not to play the Cowboys this season. So I think they're going to repeal it, make him probably 2 games, just slap on the wrist, Brady, don't do it again type shit. So the other one was Adrian Peterson. I think also he was talking about that the union with something about that they didn't step in or do their job about guaranteeing players their money.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was something like that I read. But as far as Zimmer or Zimmerman, no, Zimmer. As far as Zimmer, he's I mean, you can't fault him. He's absolutely right. Like, you either, and if he doesn't play, he'll get fined, and his only option is to retire. So all the cards are in the Vikings' hand, and they're not gonna trade away their star player for a draft pick. I don't see it. I don't see them releasing him neither. I just feel like I said on our earlier podcast that Jimmy Johnson duped him, and so I don't think he's coming to the Cowboys. Another one was Ray Rice trying to come back into the NFL.
Yeah, Philip text us on whether or not to let him come back.
If he come back, I think a team will take a chance on him, even though his production was down last season. I mean,
it's like he's being blackballed. Like, teams are afraid to be that team that brought back the guy who. Because with the other people being in trouble, you didn't see it.
Right.
He hit her with a Tyson hook. You know what I'm saying? So I think they don't want to, because the Cowboys, they got Greg Hardy, but there is no. I mean, it was video of him body slamming a girl on the guns. Is one thing, but you didn't see it. With Ray Rice, you saw it. So you don't want to be that team that signed Ray Rice.
Right. Yeah. So it looks bleak. I think him fighting. Yeah. You was one of the top paid players on your team, and unfortunately, TMZ got their hands on some footage, and the rest is history. So, you want that money back. Going from millions of dollars to, I guess, nothing, really. Hopefully he has some money in the bank. And so, yeah, man. But I don't know. Would you want to see the Cowboys look at Ray Rice? Like, even bring him in for a tryout?
Earlier, you asked me if I thought Jerry sold his soul for a Super Bowl ring. And I think he did, but I don't think he's ready for that torture he's gonna see in hell if it's by women across the world if he signed Ray Rice. Going to hell is one thing. You want to piss off every woman on the goddamn planet? Go sign Ray Rice. I don't think he's that dumb. I think his wife would kick his ass.
Pretty much.
There's no way. No way in hell. As much as we need, and at this point, I mean, he's what? What do you think he is, like 28, 29?
Yeah, I think he's up there.
He hasn't played in almost 2 seasons. He's done.
Yeah.
He's done.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see him come to the Cowboys anyway. I think we got a good core of a team. Even though we have some troubled guys, but they all want to play. They're not gonna do this shit again. They know this is their second and final chance, and I don't think these guys would, even though, with the cases they're going on, I don't think we're going to get that much hate. But, it's going to come up from sports analysts here and there. Oh, this is the team that took on Greg Hardy, took a troubled Randy Gregory, took on Des Bryant, and the whole cast of others we took on before. So, bringing in Ray Rice would just do more damage then good. I don't think he could help our team anyway.
Exactly, me either.
Yeah.
Not at this point.
No.
But I mean, that's all I got. You got any thing you want to touch on? Because that's all the points I got for today's episode, man. Good shit.
Yeah, it was great, man. I'm good. I'm content. I mean, I really like this episode. I mean, I do feel that I feel like we could talk about this all day.
Hours. Yeah. People they'll see a 6-hour podcast and turn that shit right off.
Exactly, man. But we definitely need y'all, the viewers, chime in. You know, I think we should even set up a little email or something on the website where people could register, send us a question or their thoughts on their team. You know, let us know about your team and what we think about your team. You know,
Oh yeah,
something.
man. If y'all got something y'all want us to touch on, you know, because like I said, we go around the NFL. You know, this is on air with Cowboys Nation, but we still go around the NFL. You know, if it's a great talking point, we'll get on it. You know, I don't really track every NFL team like that, but if there's something going on that we're not seeing, man, definitely, you know, hit us up on the comment section. Go to the official WeGameHere.com. You know, I'm pretty sure Dre, you know, Dre's a wizard when it comes to this website, man. So I'm pretty sure he'll have something set up for you guys on the website. Just
Yeah,
give us
definitely.
feedback, man. Give us
Yeah.
feedback. Share the video out. You know, you guys ain't got to worry about, you know, getting some, you know, some BS from us. You're gonna always get it from a true Cowboy fan's perspective.
Yep. But yeah, man. So let's close this out, man. Definitely register to the website, man. We got new collaborations. We got contests under registered users. So you definitely have to be a registered user to get or take part in the contest or have access to these deals that we are now collaborating with. So definitely go check that out. I want to apologize for my lighting. I am in my room, so I'm not this dark. So, it's just bad lighting. You know, I wanna try to be consistent with, you know, the live aspect that, you know, you see me talking with my faithful cowboy hat at all times. But you know, that's it for me, man. I'm King Dre for the win, and that is fame.
We out.
We
Peace.
out. Peace.